What's up and welcome to an episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today we're going to be comparing the OnePlus 6's camera versus the Galaxy S9 Plus. How does the OnePlus 6 flagship compare to one of the top cameras currently on the market? Now I'm also giving away an iPhone X for the month of June 2018. Link in the top comment down below, and I'll update that top comment with whatever I'm currently giving away, so feel free to check that out. Let's talk about the specs these cameras have to offer, as well as comparing some photos and videos. Let's dive right into it. Here we go. Now the OnePlus 6 features a dual camera setup on the back, one normal camera and one monochrome sensor that's used to capture portrait depth and help with low light. Now the main camera on the OnePlus 6 has an aperture of f1.7 with a pixel size of 1.2 micrometers, while the S9 Plus also has a dual camera setup, but one is a wide angle while the other is a telephoto. And of course the wide angle camera lens has a dual aperture setup that automatically switches between f1.5 and f2.4. Now the S9 Plus's pixel sensor size is 1.4 micrometers, which is a bit bigger than the OnePlus 6's 1.22. Now because of the wider aperture and better pixel sensor size, that gives the S9 Plus an advantage in low light. Now you have dual 12 megapixels on the back of the S9 Plus, while the OnePlus 6 has a 16 megapixel, which is going to give it a bit more detail in bright environments. Both cameras support up to 4K video with 60 frames per second, though I wouldn't use the 4K 60 frames per second simply because it doesn't support stabilization, which is a big deal and makes the footage look really unstable. Overall, the OnePlus 6 has slightly better video stabilization, but it can't keep up with the overall detail, dynamic range, and exposure control that the Galaxy S9 Plus features. Now, as far as slow motion goes, the Galaxy S9 Plus can record at 240 frames per second or 960 frames per second in a burst at 720p. The OnePlus 6, on the other hand, can record at 480 frames per second for up to 1 minute, which is really fantastic and a very flexible setup. And of course, it can also record at 240 frames per second at 1080p, just like the S9. Overall, I like the flexibility the OnePlus 6 offers, being able to record continuously for a minute. That provides a lot more flexibility when recording in slow motion. Between the front cameras, the OnePlus 6 has a 16 megapixel, while the S9 Plus has an 8 megapixel. But the problem is the OnePlus 6 suffers from over sharpening and is too narrow of a perspective for my taste, cropping in on my face and making it difficult to capture the overall scene. The S9 Plus, on the other hand, has one of the best front-facing cameras out there, comes with very accurate autofocus, and even allows for 1440p high-resolution video, which I gotta say is fantastic for vlogging or for making my YouTube videos, because I can just flip the camera around and capture some really high quality video on the fly. And now this is an audio test between the S9 Plus and the OnePlus 6. Which one sounds better? Do they sound about the same? I know the S9 Plus has pretty good audio for a smartphone. Not sure about the OnePlus 6. Let's find out. Overall, the OnePlus 6 camera is surprisingly great and is a big improvement over the OnePlus 5T, which had smaller pixel sensor size and no optical image stabilization. The OnePlus 6 takes almost as good of photos as the S9 Plus in bright environments, but the S9 Plus has better dynamic range and overall exposure control. Now, I did prefer the OnePlus 6's portrait mode. It allows for a wider field of view, allowing you to get better framed photos in cramped environments. When it comes to low light performance, at first glance, it seems like they're pretty close, but if you zoom in, the S9 Plus is the clear winner, capturing additional detail. The wider aperture and larger pixel sensor size really does make a difference in this comparison. Overall, the S9 Plus is a more well-rounded camera. Takes slightly better pictures with better dynamic range, and it's definitely stronger in the video department. But it also costs a lot more money, and I think it's only worth the extra dollars if you've got the money to spare and you really care about camera quality. The OnePlus 6, on the other hand, is no slouch. At $330 cheaper, it is a fantastic overall camera, and it's a solid choice regardless of the price. That's it for this episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. I did a full breakdown comparison between these two phones. Link down below if you want to check that out. And of course, don't forget to enter that giveaway. We'll see you next time. Brandon out.